Welcome! Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got big news today. Let me get in front of my camera here. Hey, how you doing, guys? We have a mint condition 2007 Subaru Legacy limited edition. This has the big 3.0 in it. That's the H6. This car drives like a dream. It's got the Bilstein struts, Bilstein suspension components. Customer meticulously maintains this car. His preventative maintenance is through the roof. Um, so what we're doing today for his vehicle is he's finally going to get this dash replaced. He doesn't have much of a choice. He's always been wanting it. Well, he has a choice not to get it, obviously, but he's been wanting it, but he's been putting it off due to the expense. And the price of the dash has only been going up every year because of limited quantities. There's 40 left, and when he came in to check it, he said, "Dang it, the price just went up 75 bucks, and now there's half of what there was last year." I said, "Yes, sir, there is." And I said, "I can't guarantee there'll be any next year." So he left the car with us for the week. We're gonna pull the dash out. That's what I love about this guy. He's just like, take your time, leave it, do it right, and he doesn't ever rush me. I love working with this customer. Bend over backwards for him if I could, but my back is crap. So, gonna go over, get the chat set up so I can see you guys. Hopefully our Wi-Fi stays very stable. Been having some Wi-Fi issues today. Not good. Don't be restricted. Don't you restrict me. This video is restricted. Oh, man. Why did the video get restricted? Preview not available, blah, blah, blah. Alright, I'm going to try and tether. Give me a sec, guys. I didn't see this coming. They've been doing some things around here, and I don't like it. I'm going to try and use another Wi-Fi. That won't do that to me. Settings. This is Wi-Fi stable. Okay, it did something there. And go to the channel. That is so weird. Can I manually get to it? Switch accounts. All right, I'm in the chat. Hooray! Hey, we got 4 people here too. That's amazing. Okay. This whole job's probably going to take a couple hours if I take my time and do it right. The first thing I'm going to stress is clean yourself. I've already done a job of changing out my uniform to get a clean one on. You just don't want to trust yourself for oil changes, especially in a really nice interior like this. Even though I know this customer and he would never, like, white glove inspection his car after my work, I still treat it as if he would. I use this Tough Stuff. I'm going to be working barehanded only because of the fact that the humidity is through the roof right now, and I am just going to sweat through a pair of nitro gloves. Cleaned all my forearms, cleaned my elbows, cleaned my face. I have a set of designated tools for doing work with. Okay, that's why I have a lot of double up of a lot of things, is because I have tools designated for just interior work. Because I don't want crummy oil on them, but I still wipe them clean every single time because other people's cars, they get dirty. Sweat, human slime, you name it. We're going to be using the Facom little bit set here to get into some weird places. I got another backup one here from Mac Tools. And I'll be using this crazy hook right there to get some trim apart. All my trim tools are accounted for. They are clean. They are good to go. So that's how this works, folks. If you do interior, or if you are a bumper-to-bumper tech, which means that you do everything, and you're going to do some interior work, having a set of clean tools, even if they're just like some junky tools, doesn't matter. Just have some clean tools. It'll make your life so much easier. Because there are some shops where you have designated interior techs, designated electrical techs, but a lot of shops have gone back to just doing bumper to bumper, especially like dealerships. So oh man, someone's already been in here. He's missing components. Not cool, man. So we got to get the glove box back. We got to pull this center dash out. Oh wait, let's talk about safety. Yes, I am a big safety person. Even though I put myself in danger all the time. Uh, when you're working on the dash, we are going to be disconnecting airbag equipment, so you do want to disconnect your battery. Your battery needs to be disconnected for at least 10 minutes. I've already done that ahead of time. I even went as far as to put protective caps on the battery terminals, so that way, through no act of nature or higher power, will the terminals make contact with any cable that might flake by. You never know. People see a gem like this in the shop, and then everybody starts looking at things and touching things. You don't need an airbag accidentally going off. I've witnessed it happening to people, and one dude walked away pretty unscathed, just shit his pants. The other person did not walk away unscathed. He actually got hit by that airbag and then rung his bell pretty good. Heard worse stories too. Alright, so our center armrest here now was unbolted. There was two 10 mils inside that pocket. I should be able to just gently pick this up and just push it back like so. Now I need to get trim and trim off. This is a fun one. This chrome comes up. It just has double-sided tape holding it in. I'm going to be using my center armrest as a catch-all. That's my organization method. Everything from the center goes in the center armrest. Everything from the left side goes in the left side door pocket, and same for the right side door pocket. That's how I keep track of all my nuts and bolts when I do interior, folks. Parking brake on, shift it in reverse, put the tab back where it came from. If you type something in chat, I will reply to you. Just know that I'm going to be checking only in about 30-minute intervals. So I'll do a few things, take a break, stretch my legs. It's also very important to have designated places to put things. I've already set that up with using the floorboard in the back. This car is super clean. There's nothing in the way. Be aware when you're taking out trim, there's already these little plastic things that didn't come with the center trim here. Those have to go back on the trim, because if you try and put the trim in while those are still in there, you'll just push them through and they'll get lost in the abyss. If you don't know what the abyss is, do interior. You'll learn what the abyss is. Screw gun. Make sure your screw gun is on low settings, because if you use a super high setting and you cam out that screw, you can be in trouble. Or what I see a lot of times is guys go zip, 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 and then it cams out and the bit jumps to the trim. Poor. The last thing you want to do is nick trim. Same thing when you're using zippy guns to put these screws back in. These are just like sheet metal screws, and they're screwing in the plastic. They were meant to go in really one time. So when folks are doing this fast and they have their drills set up on the highest setting, you'll just blow that plastic out. So until Milwaukee came out with this low speed here, I was just using a drill and I set the chuck. I just like this version now because it's more stubbier. Hopefully you don't hear too much background noise. I have I have all the windows down and the sunroof open so I can get some ventilation in here because this car is going to get really warm really fast. So that one's boogered up in there. This dash was already pulled once for the airbag recall, so I'm probably going to find a lot of shenanigans from the person who did it. I really wish that I knew this person before he got his airbag recall. That's not even the screw that goes in there. A lot of people get really upset when they have to do interior work, and you know what? interior kept me alive in the beginning because it was the one job that nobody wanted to do. So I said, all right, I'll be the trim guy. And I got really, really good at trim. And what it really came down to, guys, was just using the correct tool, learning how to feel the dash. Like, you learned how you could, like, what parts you could stress, what parts you couldn't stress. And you just took your time. And with practice, I say about a couple of months, I was blowing through some trim. No problem. Then all of a sudden, everybody was like, oh, how's this dude making 60 hours just doing oil changes and trim? And they wanted to know the secrets. I'm surprised at these annoying these push rivets down here. They're the annoying ones with the little Phillips key on them. I hate these. But they look like they've been recently replaced. That's why they're behaving. Normally they get all crudted up with dust. Alright, so I want this big thing out of here. And gotta take the OBD2 connector out, and it's screwed in. You don't necessarily have to take this, but I want the wiggle room because I don't want this trim around. Should be ready to pop. It's got a feisty spot. There we go. The other thing I learned about trim that was I started understanding how this plastic likes to fuse together. I think that's why a lot of people break trim. Because they don't prepare for the disaster of running into really crummy stuff. Another thing that I did ahead of the video here, come on, it's a bad connector. This dimmer's being a butt. There we go. Nice. These connectors here, they don't get a lot of leeway, so if there's tension on the connector, you're not going to be able to unclip it. So I had to push it in and then unclip it. Oh yeah. So I was going to say, features of everything when you do a big interior job like this, if it's warranty, take pictures. A lot of people just don't know how bad the car is until they get it back, and then they start looking at new trim you put in, and they go, "What about all this stuff? Broke it?" And like, no, I didn't break it. It was there. I'm gonna lose that screw. If you're doing Subaru dashes on these older ones, note that the this plastic here for the center vents and the outside vent, it's like glass. It does not like to be pried. And I'll show you a trick to pull them out. And then always inspect them for micro cracks. Because if they got a micro crack, these things are just going to explode as soon as you take them out. All right, it's time to get that out. And where'd I put my pocket screwdriver? There it is. It's not in my pocket. There's a metal clip over behind here that has to be depressed. And not depressed with Xanax, but just use a screwdriver and it should want to come out. Try not get violent with it, because if you overwhelm it, it'll rip this A-pillar apart. There it is. That's the clip that you're trying to defeat right there. Just got to push it down like that. Another good strategy too, when you're taking a lot of trim out, is having a place to put it. I know I went over that earlier. You can use the back of the car. I've used trunks of cars before, but I get those moving blankets from U-Haul. They're like $20 and they're like a 12 by 12. Throw that in. Trunks are super dirty. They got rocks in there. Uh, the moving blankets are amazing. There's been times when I've just thrown the moving blanket on the hood, on the roof of the car, and I'll stack up all my trim up there. Clarence, baby, how you doing? Nice to see you in the chat. I think you won a set of wrenches last time we talked. Hey, Xanny, this is not a side work. I don't do side work. I got enough work myself with that. I know some people will do some moonlighting to make some change here and there, but you know that can be both good and bad for you. I saw a lot of people who they would work a full day and then they would go try and do a side job and they would just come back the next day even more tired and they would spend the entire morning at work trying to wake up and then they would just complain and complain about not having any work, and I'd be like, brother, you spent the entire morning trying to like juice yourself up with caffeine. Like, and I get some places don't have overwhelming work like others, so no judgment, but I give that advice out to just be aware. And then, of course, never advertise that you are doing any side work. Because as soon as your boss finds out, you usually don't get more than one warning. And your warning is usually when you get hired. And you'll probably tell them, be like, you never told me I couldn't do that. Well, it's in your employee handbook. To be honest, it's called a do not compete clause. You're competing. Wow, look at that. See, he still has his airbag sticker. Yeah, guys, it's called a do not compete clause. It's pretty much in every blue collar job handbook. So don't pretend like it's not there. If you do have an old Legacy, old Outback that has one of these really, really annoying dash setups for replacing the cabin air filter, believe it or not, like all this has to come out to change the cabin air filter. It's like a job that pays .8. It's ridiculous. Subaru did eventually learn that that was a horrible idea because nobody was going to buy cabin air filters based on maintenance schedules. That was the intention. Was they were like, oh yeah, it's like people are going to be getting cabin air filters every 12,000 miles. No, they're not. They want to see it dirty. Well, the tech can't just pull it out and show it to you without tearing half your trim apart. And then the people who did get it were complaining, like, hey, all my trim is messed up. Well, yeah, you're taking the center console apart, you're taking this apart, you're taking this thing out. They eventually came up with a whole new glove box assembly right here that installs, and it has a service port. I think that upgrade costs, last I looked at it was $150. Good luck finding one. They made a small batch. A lot of people who couldn't find them just made their own. Just cut a hole. More screw. We got some accent lighting here that needs to get disconnected. And then we have a little bit of a hitchhiker here with a connector that needs to go away. And I push the locking tabs. Push them again. Okay, it's disconnected. There we go. Yeah, this thing just locking keys on the back of this assembly. A lot of weird choices made during the design of this, but it's a pretty car. Okay, we're looking really good. Let's work on this next A pillar right here. It's very normal for the dash to actually melt and stick to this. Now for the scary part, taking this out. Stupid scary. I'm gonna have to finish removing my radio. And I'm gonna use my chamois over the shifter to protect it, because behind here is nothing but razor sharp metal. I'm gonna find out how many of these clips are gonna be nice. Oh, and I already did this test before I started, if I didn't say this in the beginning, but it's an antenna down there. You need to do a complete function check of everything on this dash. Multi-function screens, radios, HVAC controls. If it's a button or a switch or a lever, you actuate it, you test it, you make sure that feature on that vehicle is working. Because as soon as you put this car back together and you tell the customer your job is done and something don't work, it's your fault. Uso, what's going on, my man? Oh man, you just got your membership upgraded. Oh man, you're a spark plug now. This guy here doesn't. If you don't have this little Game Boy screen right here, and you just have the little readout for the clock, you have to reach up and under and unplug that clock. There is no uh, there is not enough plug length to pull it out and unplug it. You'll just break everything. I need my pin light. Are you kidding me? Alright, so what you want to do is you want to get your pin light in there. And we're going to look for... Oh my god, is this dash fucked up already? Who fucked up this? That should not be there. Hang on. Hang on, guys. I'm seeing something I don't normally see. Yeah. So, get a pin light, throw it in there, and then you're going to gingerly route your hook through the vents. Now remember, you got horizontal vents and you got vertical vents, so you got to get it through both. And then I'm going to grab the back side of this assembly. I'm going to grab it by the vents. I'm going to give her a little tug. I've seen people do this with clothes hangers. Just like that. Okay, so that was just one side. We can't pry it off. No way, you'll snap everything. Very carefully route this hook back out through the vents. These vents, they are just begging me to destroy them. Oh man. Come up. Eh, there it is. All right. Let's get the next one. If you crack this vent, it's a whole assembly. It runs about $180, and that's if you can find one now. All the dash components for this car, they're completely out of stock due to the Takata airbag recall because so many of these cars came in looking like hot trash and nobody documented it, and a lot of people got some free dash equipment. That's why the inventory is so upside down on dash components for these Legacy Outbacks. You gotta play nice, can I? This might be the most stressful part. And it just doesn't want to play nice with me, you know? I'm trying to. I want to be your friend. I want to do the job right. All right. Nope. I don't like the way it feels. The dash is getting replaced, so I'm okay with prying against it a little bit. Try one of my spoons. There it is. Whew. I feel better. Believe it or not, that was super scary. Yeah, so this is where I was hooking up at. You get your hook through there. You grab the back of this and you just boop. But if this is a brand new one, so that's why it was a little bit nicer to come out. But old ones, oh dude, they're hot trash, guys. All hot trash. And if you do get if you get an old one out successfully without breaking it, I kid you not, it is just screaming to break. You put that thing in a Pelican case or a Cody cooler. So I once got one out, and this other tech was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you got one out without breaking it." And he just picked it up by like one end like that, and just the weight of the other side snapped it in half. I'm like, "You like." I was like, "Now I gotta go tell the old man, and we gotta file a claim." These multi-function screens are also really, really rare. A lot of people like getting these and upgrading their Subarus with them. It's not like they have any navigation on them or anything like that. I mean, well, yeah, it does have navigation, but it's not like it's current navigation. Uh, I'm working on doing a conversion for mine because my car is not equipped with it. I have an '09 Outback, but it doesn't have this. But I found a busted one, and I'm just using the shell, and I'm trying to program an Android screen for it. So I can get an Android to run aftermarket navigation and use it as an MP3 player. Yeah, Huso, this is a pain in the ass, man. Especially if you're doing this for the first time, you're gonna learn a whole lot about your limits. All right, so this side's looking really good. I got two more bolts to take out, and they're the bolts that are holding my airbag up. You can't see them, but I can see them. They're two 12 mils. If you look straight up, no, two 10 mils. If you look straight up, you'll see them. Man, somebody really put that sucker in there. I don't need to be that tight. These two 10 mils is what's holding our airbag assembly on. That's one. And dose. Let's go around the other side and work on that gauge cluster. Bring my tool with me. We're actually making really, really good progress on this. All right, the gauge cluster is a fun one to get out, especially if your steering wheel locks. I didn't put my steering wheel in the correct orientation. So this gauge cluster goes in before the steering column goes in at the factory, but you can squirrel it through here or squirrel it through here. You just gotta be very careful, and you gotta talk to it really nice and say sweet things. This is the one nice thing I like about this Facom bit holder set. They're on a hinge setup, which is a lot better than the Mac tool set, which is made by the same people, but it's not hinged. You got these bars you got to take out. Sucks. That, I don't even know if that's the correct screw that should go in there. Now there's two really fun ones up here, and I'm gonna take off the knee guard so I don't cut myself trying to get to it. There's no airbag here for the knee guard. The knee guard is just here as part of a crash point of the vehicle. And like every piece of metal trim behind the plastic, it wants to slice you open. It's full of nothing but unfinished edges. One of them got put back. Wow, I'm surprised. Most people don't put those back. They don't put them back because they don't know how they're supposed to go back. They just get fussy and they get angry. I saw that. 2 for 2. All right. Should be able to reach behind here and give it a gentle little push. Reach behind on the other side. And I'm fighting the dash because it's swollen and sticky. There we go. That was one of the problems people were having with this particular body style. There's a bulletin called the Sticky Dash Bulletin. And some eligible customers were getting complete replacement dashes, even though the car had like 100,000 miles on it. I'm trying to blindly get this last gauge cluster clip. Got it. Remember, if you're fighting a clip, you keep pulling and pulling. Try and push it back in and see what happens. Trying to remember my little trick here. It's been about 5 years since I've done one of these. Yeah. Unlock my steering column, kind of rotate it, and there, it's out without damaging anything. So I pulled it out, I laid as much far forward into the steering wheel as I could, and then just rotate it out. And we're going to put this in a very safe place. I think turn on some lighting now. It's getting kind of dark. That might help. It might not. Helps a little bit. Might go with the other light. I'm going to try a different lighting trick because I can't see also. Yeah, we got some batteries left on this. We got the Milwaukee underhood light coming in. These underhood lights make a very, very good interior lighting. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's so much better now. So I'm only slightly getting blinded. Okay, now we should have everything good to go and ready to rip out. What is this? This is a GPS. Yes, this vehicle has navigation and we got GPS plugged in, so instead of unclipping the wire and rerunning it later, I'm gonna just leave the whole thing in there and worry about it later. Yeah, I can set that right there. And we're ready, so a little tug. Beautiful. I'm gonna bring this over. Make sure I can protect that. Ah, one more. So this had auto climate control, and the damn sensor is right here in a not so fun place to grab. Alright. And I got a airbag clip to the feet. If we don't plug this in, we will get airbag problems, and as you can see, you can only plug it in if your dash is coming out. Because trying to finger bang it from the bottom, the ducking does a really good job locking it. So hopefully I do not get distracted talking to you, and I'll tie a string to it that'll remind me. Also, if you're working on other cars that have that particular sun load sensor there, or any kind of light sensors, make sure you review your service manual, because there are some of them that specifically tell you that when you unplug them, you have to tie strings to them so you can pull them back through the loom, because you can't reattach them later on without disassembling more things. So the service manual kind of knows that you can screw things up. We're going to be really cautious of our side air vents, so I'm not going to be, do not grab here by these grills, because even though they look new, they can still crack. And this always works better with a helper. Feel like feel like something is still hung up on the driver's side, though I could be imagining it. Uh, no, we're completely disconnected. Come on. Not as fit as I used to be. I used to be able to muscle these up. I'm getting weak. Alright, I'm gonna drop the steering column. I think that's what I'm hung up on. What am I gonna need for that steering column? I need a 12. All my 12s are gone. And I'm gonna want a jack stand. Yes. We got a jack stand. Clear this out. This particular steering column has two 12mm bolts that are holding the steering column to the crash beam of the vehicle. Now, I can't just drop it because it's gonna knock. Um, there's a gasket for the steering column that goes through the firewall, and if you let this thing drop, it will pop that gasket out, and you will not be able to push it back in. You will have to disconnect the U-joint, pull the entire steering column. Pain in the ass. Now, when I originally did this a lot, I used to have, I went to the hardware store and I keyed up some bolts. I matched up the threads and I got some bolts that were like 4 inches long. So I would just do a gradual drop. This is going to work as well. All right, that should help out. I just got to make sure I don't lean on that because I was before. Oh, I see it now. I see what I've been. Oh, Joe. It's the cabin temp sensor. I forgot that. Dang it. Right here, this is the cabin temp sensor. Damn it. I wasted about 20 minutes on that. I probably didn't even need to drop the steering column. Huh. And what else did I forget? Oh, yeah. There's a keyless access control module right here in the dash. Okay. Okay. It's coming back to me now. Okay, props to whoever did this Takata. Really, really. I tip my hat to that technician who did this Takata because he put things back that I was not expecting people to have put back. I'm used to so many people putting these things back so haphazardly. I mean, like, I've only found one screw you didn't put back, and I don't blame him for that one, because that one's a piece of shit screw. Watch that shifter. Oh, it's coming out. Just gotta get my fat ass out of the way. Oh. Yeah, we shut the door. Alrighty. Whew. That was fun. Alright, that's only half the work right there. Alright, come on, guys. Come with me. There we are. Trying to see where you're at. I'll get you up on here. Yeah. Yeah. So here's the entire underbelly of our dash. We're going to have to transfer a lot of things over. So what I have to set up my dash is what people would use to spray paint bumpers. Because this one's trash. Good. Use that for the nice one. Ooh, fancy new one. This tarp here, I actually keep I keep this thing in a bag so it doesn't get all filled up full of dirt and stuff. I mean, it looks dirty, but it's technically clean, guys. But unfortunately, I've seen a lot of these brand new dashes just get pulverized by people setting these on toolboxes, trash can lids. You really need to have a super clean surface. That's why I'm opening the bag up like this too. I'm going to allow this plastic to act as another barrier. And, you know, just to go back to what I was talking about in the beginning about the secrets of doing dash, it's this. It's just keeping your workspace tidy and clean. You're going to hate yourself in the beginning, but that's okay. You'll learn something. Check out chat really quick. It's just Huso. Got a big day coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to go back into that CVT transmission class that I'm working on for you guys. So if you weren't there for the first part, the live feed is up. You can go check it out. This might right here just be the only bad part about doing dash replacements is just the amount of space it takes up. I'm purposely staying late to do it. Just so that I can't be bothered by anybody. Because once you start this, you got to get it done right away. You don't want to get off on a tangent doing oil changes, doing a customer concern, helping somebody out. Or the worst part is somebody comes and hang out with you and they distract you. The next thing you know, your whole morning's gone and you're like, what happened? You're making chit chat. I've had my fair share of those. I can be quite the chatty Cathy if you get a couple of cups of coffee in me. God, I honestly don't think that this car has ever been parked in the sun other than our dealership. I really think this car's lived half its life in a garage. This is amazing. Okay, that's good, that's good. Alright, gotta get my air vents coming out. Uh-oh. Woo! Okay, they're coming, they're coming. Nice. Didn't lose an air vent. That's really important. These again, these air vents are like $125 a piece. And of course, I did warn my customer. I says, no guarantees. I'll be as careful as I can. He understood the cost. That's why he was avoiding this dash replacement because. So I'm gonna, instead of pushing on this plastic, I'm gonna try and pull it through by the vent. There we go. Perfect. Perfect seat. That's again, as a pro tip, a lot of people have done this and they're like, yes, I got the air vent out. I'm ready to put it in the new dash. They put it in the new dash and they push on the face of it and all the grills snap and the frame snaps. So grab it from the ass and pull it through. That's my suggestion. And then same thing when you're trying to get them out. Push from the back. Yeah, I've been waiting to do this job all week too. Every time I try to get ready for it, something else pops up. I'm so glad my customer is very understanding. Most customers would not be understanding because this part has been ready to be put in for over a week. But as I keep telling the people around me who want me to do other things, I'm like, once I start this, I'm not stopping. So they come up with other things. They're like, oh, well, check out this car before that. Check out this car before this. I'm like, Okie dokie. As long as you tell my customer he's getting bumped. Where'd I put my screw gun? Oh, I left it on the old dash. Ha! But this dash that I took out, I mean, it's not that bad. It's got cracks in it, but it doesn't have all the melty spots, so, somebody wants it. It's gonna cost you a penny to get it shipped, but I'll ship it to you. I'm gonna guess that shipping is like 80 bucks. Just because of the size of the box. The box is about 6 feet long and 2 feet wide, and then another foot tall. It might actually just be cheaper to just buy the new dash from the Subaru website, because at least they'll give you free shipping. Trying to get this airbag assembly out. It's very important that you remember the orientation of this as you take it out, because this airbag assembly will go in backwards. And you will not figure it out until you try to put your dash in and you realize that the passenger side doesn't lay down flat. This is our infotainment cradle right here. It is another piece of fragile equipment. Okay, get those off to the side because they're in my way. Okay. Then we're going to go back through and we're going to tighten them all up by hand. And the reason why I'm going to do that and using these big long screwdrivers is so beneficial because you got the torque back here instead of up there. Um, just the impact motion of your cordless tool will shatter this thing. That was a hard lesson to learn. So now I just run them in and then just get the last 2 turns by hand. Okay, now comes over the insulation. And the insulation's fun because the insulation is hot melted to the original dash. And why a new dash doesn't come with fresh insulation, I do not know. Just kind of weird. So we're going to have to glue this to the new dash. And we're not going to use hot glue. We're actually going to be using gasket maker. That's actually what's called out for in the service manual and a TSB. Use gasket maker, do not use hot glue. The dashes, they just get too hot and they soften the hot glue. The gasket maker is rated for much, much higher temperatures. Gotta remember, where's my gasket maker? There it is. So feel free to get very, very generous with this gasket maker. Make sure it gets pressed in real good. Because if you don't work it into the fabric, it won't stick. But if you've ever worked with gasket maker before, when it gets on your jeans, it don't come out. Nice. Now we get to start assembling things. This is most likely going to take a second for me to remember how I took it apart. Yeah. There's something right here. This piece right here is not made out of fiberglass. It's just regular PVC. So the impact isn't going to hurt it. But it's really easy to cam that stuff out. So looks like it just needs a touch. There we go. Snug that up. It's very tedious and very slow, guys. But we are almost ready to go back in. I'm excited. Double check and make sure I got everything. Oh, we got a sensor over here. It's that sun sensor. Now, if you do want one of these new dashes, and let's say they do run out, guys, um, the world isn't over. There's still a way around it. Um, Drop the VIN on your vehicle, all right? So this is a dash that's identified for a limited edition. But if they run out of limited edition dashes, you can get a base model, which there's still plenty of. And all the spots where all your limited edition stuff would go, you just have to razor cut it out. Yeah, I got those two. One, two, one, two, one, two. There's two, one, two, one, two, one. Kind of freaking out, man. Oh, I knew I forgot something. Really common. Really, really common to miss this. You'll get some weird AC issues. Here it is. It's another piece of the divider circuit for the blower motor. Ah, there it is. I dropped a screw. Scared me. Okay, these gotta move. People be hauling ass around here today. I know it's Friday, but come on, slow down. There we go. All right. Mm, there it is. Yay! Got one more thing to do. Need to find a pokey stick. Yeah. Where's my tiny screwdriver. There it is. Gotta get the VIN plate off. Now the VIN plate is just riveted in. Make sure you get the orientation correct. Yep. And we're just gonna use a heat gun. How's chat? Yeah, Garage Monkey says he doesn't like interior. Uh, yeah. I had to learn how to make it, Monkey, because it was the only work available for me when I first started. Everybody was soaking up all the other work. So the only thing that was left was dash rattles, trim replacement. So I just became the trim guy for the first couple years. But I got really good at it. Alright, so just heat the plate up. There we go. And the old rivets pop through and everything looks factory. The guy gets to keep the original factory rivets. That actually meant something to him. A lot of car collectors get into that stuff. Alright, so I'm going to give this dash 10 more minutes to just chill out with the RTV. And I'm going to be washing my hands up because there was a lot of dirt underneath there. Stretch my back out a little bit. Drink some water. Ow. Where is that can of stuff? There it is. Yeah, the only thing I really don't like about this Legacy that this guy has, and it's just a personal thing, I hate the color champagne. Of all cars that you decide to keep and meticulously maintain, and baby, why champagne? Ugh. It's just such not an appealing color. But you know what? Champagne exists because some people like it. I mean, I thought champagne was a Buick thing. And then when I saw it come over to the Subaru side on the Legacies in the Outback, I was like, what? But then again, I like the color brown on cars, only on some cars. I think a nice metallic brown is very pretty. All right, brakes over. Ugh. Now the fun part. Let's reorient you guys and put you back in the car. Stay. So these wires here for the gauge cluster, I gotta lay them back. You don't want them here because then they'll get crushed by the dash. That kind of, actually, you know what? This can hang out here because I can wall fish it back in. This is okay. These are intact. That's intact. The dash has pins, alignment pins that have to go in here. These alignment pins also have a gasket on them, and the gasket is intact. If it's not intact, then you can just get a trim tool, pop them out, seal them up with some RTV. Otherwise, they'll rattle. Hi, bye. It's going back in. Probably about another hour. Is that the transmission? Transmission's done. The dash? Yeah, I did the transmission yesterday. Yeah. This is the dash today. The dash. Have fun. Be careful. I will. Bye. Everyone's saying goodbyes. Except for you guys. You guys are sticking around, right? And you're being awfully quiet in the chat. 9 of you. Wow. 9 people. Hey, thanks. And you know, guys, if you haven't done the thumbs up thing, do the thumbs up thing. That way it gets attention, so other people who want to know how to do this, it pops up. There we go. Okay, so we gotta sneak in and squat in at the same time and not fall on my ass. Watch that shifter. I regret not putting anything there, but it's kind of too late now. All right. Touchdown. All right, so before I forget, we gotta plug in our sun load sensor. Why won't you go in? Please go in. There it goes. All right. And I bet there's a lot of people who wish that there was videos of this 10 years ago when we had to pull about 100,000 of these dashes out. We eventually learned some tips and tricks how to pull the airbags out without pulling the dash, but the first few of us who got stuck doing these, oh, did it just suck. And then once we learned our tips and tricks, they changed the design of the airbag. And we had to learn new tricks. And then we learned that all the airbags we put in were just temporary airbags, and we had to do it all over again and put in Type 2 airbags. Frustrating. Just trying to get it on that alignment pin. Ooh, I got good. I got the right side in. I got the left side in. And we shake it all about. Might just be a connector holding that end up. I'll go check it out. Yeah, yeah. Give me back my connectors. That's one. Give me the second one, please. Okay, feels good. Oh, it feels really good. That little bump right there, that's just the AC duct. Finding a new home. Make sure that all the orientation here is good and good and good. Look at my dash line going all the way around on the windshield. Beautiful. And then we wash our hands again. And if you weren't here for the beginning, I'm purposely not wearing the nitrile gloves because it's like 85% humidity today, so I will just sweat through them like crazy. So microfiber and tough stuff is my best friend. Is that safe for skin? No, it says it's an irritant. Oh man, one of my connectors fell down. Ooh. All right, dash went back together nice. These wires routed behind here. At least one of those did. Whoa, whoa. Settle there, girl, settle. We're still okay. All right. That scared me. Starting to get hungry. All right. Setting number 2. There we go. Sheet metal screws. Two here on the side. Whew. Clips. Come on, there's screws in here somewhere. There's a couple screws. Where's that pilot hole? There we go. All right. Let's get my airbag set up before I forget. And then make sure we plug in that keyless access control module because that also gets very commonly overlooked. You just get in such a rush to put these back together. You're like, home stretch. There we go. Need my 12. Easy. Come here, you. These are 10s. I don't need a 12. I gotta put our airbag, bolt it back in. It was disappointing when we were doing the second phase of these airbags on these vehicles at the number of people who left these airbag bolts loose or not even put back in. I mean, like, talk about a recall you do not want to fudge up. All right. You know what? While we're here, let's check his cabin air filter. Hey, it's clean. Because if you didn't hear me in the beginning, these were hell to change out because the first design of this cabin air filter, you had to take out the center trim, the side trim, the glove box assembly. It was like a .7 or .8 job. That was an expensive cabin filter. I mean, like, that's BMW territory. So we later on came out with a revised glove box that you could purchase. It was like about $150, and it left a service port right here, so you could pull that out. Gauge cluster, then the center stack, then the glove box. Don't scratch. Thank you. I don't know which plug I have in my hand. I don't want you. Where's the other one at? Oh no. No, it doesn't want to go in. Because I have them backwards, Joe. Big one to the far left. There we go. That looks a lot better. You might be asking yourself, how the hell did they do this on the assembly line? Well, truthfully, the dash, the crash beam, all the wiring harness, that's already built. They stab it all in as one piece. Oh, get our 2 screws on the bottom. And let's put our, let's get this steering column put back together. That way I can get this jack stand out of my face. Alright, we're just gonna start one. And drop the other bolt. Oh man. You see. Yeah. We're done with that tool. Done with that jack stand. Let's find my 2 tiny little screws now. That's 1. 2 tiny little screws. Get back on power setting 1 where you belong. And now we can put the top one in. Perfect. If you put the top one in first, then it'll push out the bottom and you'll never get those screws in. Okay, the center now. The center's gonna have to fit these ducts, so if these ducts are kind of messed up, get a heat gun, warm them up, so that way they align appropriately. See our chat. Harbor Area Attack. Hey Baja, so did you find that 10mm you dropped behind the dash? I'm just joking. Keep on hustling. Damn you. No, but I have taken apart an entire car because somebody said they dropped an heirloom, like, in one of the floor ducts. I was like, all right, and she was trying to describe it, and she was like, it's this cross thingy. I'm like a Jesus cross? She's like, not like a Jesus cross, just a cross thingy. I'm like, okay. So I really didn't know what I was looking for. I'm like, is it a necklace? Is it a ring? And she's like, yeah, it's kind of round. I'm like, some heirloom if you can't describe it to me, you know? So, yeah, like we had to pull out the front two seats, we pulled up the carpet to get the air ducts out, and then I get it, and I kid you not, it looked like one of those crosses that you. It looks like the Vin Diesel cross from the Fast and the Furious, and it came out of like one of those vending machines. I'm like, okay, cool. Like you just paid me like $1,500 to rip apart your car for probably a $15 jackpot prize. But she knew the price going in. We all said, let it go. I just, she's like, well, what do I do? I says, well, you could not sell the car, and then the car becomes an heirloom. Again, if you didn't hear me say it in the beginning about using power tools on these trim pieces with these screws, if you got one like this mill floppy, put it on setting 1. If you don't have anything like this, just get a drill with a adjustable chuck and set the chuck on low. Last thing you want to do is like full send these screws through and strip everything out. Oh no, guys. I made a screw up. Why didn't you say something? How come nobody caught this for me? You guys are articulating everything else I do. The GPS, the GPS. No, not the GPS. Damn it. I can't pop it in. I gotta pull the cluster out. Balls. So keys right there. Grab my little micro ratchet. Snug it up. All right. Whoa. We're so close to the end. Maybe 20 minutes? 20 minutes if I don't forget anything else. I think we got all the confusing stuff. I got my temp sensor. I got my sun load sensor. What else do we get? The keyless access, the GPS. The GPS threw me off because it's very rare. Like these were not a popular option. Totally overlooked that. Could you have like just put the GPS like right here? Yeah, but that's not the correct way. Stay. We're ready for the center duck. Oh shit. Guys, come on. Seriously? Nobody's telling me anything. I didn't even plug this damn thing in. Gotta get our video cable hooked up here. Alright. This is all radio stuff. Radio stuff. Cool. I always enjoy it though when these cars with old navigation systems come in. Oh my gosh, you guys fell. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Uh, it's always fun when these old navigations come in and people are all butthurt that you can't do map updates for them. We're like, dude, your car is 20 years old. Oh, I don't understand. My iPhone has new maps on it. Mm-hmm. And why does your iPhone have new maps? I don't know. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, that was from like 2012 to 2018. That was just hell with people bugging us about GPS. I just moved into this neighborhood. My GPS doesn't see me. Yeah, your neighborhood's brand new. You're probably got to wait 6 months for the manufacturer to make a map update. Because back then, the map updates were just like DVDs. So there would be like a DVD drive under the passenger seat. Okay, another butt pucker moment. Ah, it's light. I'm gonna look in the back, and I need to make sure that these 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 ducts, they line up. This this frame here has to go into the other ducts. Has to sit inside of them. So if it doesn't want to go in flush, it's because you're pushing on the other one. And unfortunately, this is going to be one of those scary points where you do have to goose it a little bit. Because one, it's a really bad design, and two, we're fighting new dash trim. So it doesn't want to go. It doesn't want to go. Because these tabs right here, that's it. They push through this edge right here. So we're trying to just defeat that edge. Again, just a really, really bad design. Again, probably the person who made this had no intention of this duck ever coming out. As with a lot of automotive things, they're designed to go together. They're not designed to come apart and go back together. I'm gonna try and get a hand and negotiate that duck. Yep, got a traffic jam in the back of this duck. This one went okay. Let's see if I can. Come on. Be nice. Ugh. Okay. Might have to go for a full reset. Glasses are fogging up. Come on. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Nice. Okay. That really is stressful, but it's done. Radio time. Yeah. Yeah, 5 people are still here. That's good. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We're going to make it to the end. This will be a complete video. But this is also a really good demonstration of what your people are going through behind the scenes. All right, so hey, these radios right here, they're goofy as hell. I'm going to admit it. Um, the radio and the AC controls, they're completely integrated. So that's why you don't see a lot of cars with aftermarket radio heads. Because, well, this whole faceplate is one piece. if you have one of these old clunkers and you run into a radio problem, there is a website. You can contact me. I'll put you in support with them. They refurbish these, about $200. They don't care which one it is, but for 200 bucks, they'll refurb it and they'll give you warranty. And they clean up all the marks too. So if like all your buttons are worn out, you'll get buttons with new details on them. The most common point of failure on these so far is the displays go out. And the displays go out due to corrosion. So if you're a clever person, you can actually disassemble the front faceplate and you can just reflow the solder. If you don't know what reflowing solder is, Google it and watch some YouTube videos because it's not as simple as you think. You can't just lay heat on there and melt the solder again. No, 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 no. Alright, so the big long cranky one here is my hazard. Some power. Where's that goofy ass plug go? Where the hell does this goofy plug go? I don't understand. Oh, alright. Had a couple plugs mixed up. Now everything's good. Let's not forget the hazard. Yeah, I know I'm blocking everything. Sorry. It is what it is. Okay, antennas are hooked up. That's in. Get it on the alignment pins. That would help. Alright. It doesn't want to go on the alignment pin. There we go. Let's get our knee guard put back on. How did it orient? Like that? Yeah, like that. Damn self-tapper is blown out. Gonna have to give it some speed. Those are expensive. And they fell again. No. All right. That was annoying. Trim. Yeah, assembling the center dash is kind of funny because you can't put both these channels together at the same time. This left one goes in first, then I put the driver under trim on, then I put my glove box in, and then I can put the right skirt in. Why, I don't know. You think it would be symmetrical, right? We're almost done. Even though I said that probably 20 minutes ago. But just was getting really... I might have to come back to that with a little bit of heat and make that kind of want to go in. But I'm okay where it's at right now. That's normal for fresh trim and a fresh dash. You just gotta love it. So I think a day of sitting out in the Texas heat, I'll be able to come back tomorrow and I go boop. Or it'll boop the other way. Who knows? Oh yeah, trim. Be aware that some of the trim has ducking on it, so I gotta kind of go in a fun angle. Power mirror hooked up. What's this guy go to? Dimmer switch hooked up. Seriously, what does this one go to? Oh. Multi-function switch. Good clicks all the way around. Nice. And where'd my little stubby go? Oh, I can use this one. Yay! Side panel. It's looking like a car again. A yellow tab came off. There we go. Good. Good. To the other side. Alright, goes the other way. Plug in our accent lighting. Chick-ching. We hook this stupid box back up. Chick-ching. Alright, so once that you gotta key it in to the top of the dash first. And then you can sink your screws in. Alright, so that's in. Side skirt. Check. No. These. These damn pieces of trim can be feisty, so make sure we got everything lined up at once and give her a pop. Good. cigarette lighter plugged up. Good. Bring this forward. Pop her in. Now this push rivet right here was missing when I took it apart. I'll just get one on order. There it is. There's two bolts here and the armrest. Put our felt back in there. That socket is mine. Cup holder divider, go together, damn it. There we go. On this shifter boot, there's an alignment mark that has to go in before it clips on the top. Nice. That one was for the glove box hinge. This one goes here. Trying to get the hinge pin in right now. Very good. Very nice. This is flush. That's good. There will always be a little bit of a sag right here, unfortunately. It's hard to tweak out. It just comes with the settling of the assembly. sometimes you can straighten it by pulling on this bracket, which supports the assembly, and it pushes this corner out and makes that corner push in. But you don't want to go too far, because then it'll rub. But yeah, that eye line looks a little bit better. No, no, didn't go in right. Whoa. I know it's fresh trim, but you gotta go in. There we go. Whoops, the wiper blades are on. All right, my screen works. See, he had this problem before I took it apart. This was a dead head. Yeah, see, look, comes back. Let's see if we can get the AC working. Yeah, I'll have to fiddle with it later. And the radio went away. That's annoying. Okie dokie. That's a wrap. Let's start it and make sure we don't have any airbag lights on. No lights. All right, we're good to go. We'll talk to the customer about this. If I can't reflow the solder on the pins and make the screen come back, we're going to have to send it in for a reman. Obviously, this guy's going to want AC. I mean, the knob, like, these knobs, they do work, but you just don't know what settings you're on. Let's check out chat. Got a couple late drifters coming here. Let's see here. Eric says, Baja man, you saved me from making a big mistake. I was about to return my Snap-on battery tester when I came across your short explaining that the tester isn't defective, it just doesn't test. Oh, I'm glad I helped out. The charging capabilities whereas the Rotunda does big thanks to brother. Hey, you're welcome very much. I'm glad I'm able to explain things for you. So, all right, man. Everyone's bouncing out. So, if nobody has anything, I'll sign off. Thank you again. Please make sure you leave me a thumbs up for the video so that other people can find it and they can use this as a resource. Thank you all for staying.